What up, what up, what up? Boys are all
Yo.
here. Finn will only be here for a minute. He's on his lunch break at work, but
Hey,
yeah, I mean,
free,
we just
free game.
missed an absolute masterclass from Jokic last night. A great game overall. Started off not being a great game. Started off Nuggets dominant through three quarters, really. And then fourth quarter came around. Darvin Ham made my adjustment, putting Rui on Yoke. And what happens? Oh, they come back in the game. Jokic only scores 3 points, no field goals.
So that's why I'm here. I wanted to comment. Matthew, phenomenal call. The origin of that statement was, I would love to see AD prove himself by locking up Jokic. Now, the origin of that statement was not the most efficient way to guard Jokic is with Anthony Davis. It was twisted and pretzel made to the max in an intense debate where then it changed. So I will say, Matt, really special shout. Great call. When he was floating around, it really seemed like that's where he should be. That first quarter, he was giving AD the business. AD was weak, bro. When I called you last night, Slim, you were like, he sucks.
I'm telling you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
that was a great shout.
Still drop 40.
I trust you boys are going to handle this happy from here. I'm about to go into this lunch, but there's a lot these guys are about to say because it was a really interesting game.
You see this?
But yeah, I mean, great game. I'm really excited for this series, and I think if you're a Lakers fan, you have to be encouraged with what you saw because you made a little adjustment here, and if you're gonna go and make an adjustment mid-game and it works, and if you can steal that game even when you're down 20, that's important. Obviously they didn't steal the game, but I think moving forward, at least I think they should start Rui next game and see how it goes. But the only thing that kind of comes with that is, are you going to take out D'Angelo Russell or Schroeder? And I think it has to be D'Angelo Russell, but I think if you do that, then you lose D'Angelo Russell, like mentally.
I think Schroeder doesn't mind playing the second hand role in comparison to D'Angelo Russell, just because
I agree.
I feel like he's been bounced around the league just because he was like, I deserve to be paid. Ended up back with the Lakers, and is accepting of his role and just glad that he's a part of the squad. But I think that D'Lo is the best option just because he can provide that spark shooting, which is important. I think that 126 to 132 in a game one in Denver is very, very, very good for the Lakers, and I think that they can look at this game, make their adjustments. Darvin Ham is going to make those adjustments, like maybe starting off the game with putting Rui on AD earlier as soon as Rui gets in the game. Or not Rui on AD, Rui on Joker. Yeah, Rui on Joker as soon as he gets in the game. But I think that D'Angelo can provide that spark shooting. But the fact that they, made the game as close as it was once they made those adjustments in game, in a game one, like I said, in Denver, the altitude, is very difficult to play in Denver. I think that they could probably snag the game tomorrow and then really take over in LA and then really, really come to play ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Nuggets could have played any better through three quarters, offensively, defensive. I mean, they didn't play defense that well, but for their standards, they did because they're not the best defensive team in the world. But they do all the little things on defense that make a difference. Yeah. Like, if you look at the rebounding numbers, obviously you can just add up the box score, but I'm pretty sure they won by 17, 36-53 in the rebounding department. They had 9 offensive rebounds in the first quarter on their first 11 missed shots, which is unheard of. And I mean, the Lakers did a good job defending, but then they didn't finish the possession. And that's what a lot of teams get into trouble with. And I think moving forward, that'll get corrected by having a bigger lineup. I understand playing the 3-guard lineup when you're playing a Golden State, when they play 3 guards. and you have the ability, since you have a deep team, to do that. But if you're gonna try and do that versus Denver, they're too big and strong to do that against. Because Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10", playing the three. Aaron Gordon's 6'8" and solid at the four. And KCP is no small guard, neither is Jamal Murray. So I just think, personally, for game 2, they have to make that adjustment, whether it's taking out Schroeder or D'Angelo Russell, because I think Reeves has to start, in my opinion. I think he's played the best of the three so far.
100.
And I think you could even start Vando if you want to keep Rui for bench scoring. I think Vando's still a little light to guard Jokic the way Rui did, but I'm not saying Rui did a great. I mean, he did a good job on Jokic, but it's all, if you're not going to play your best defender on Jokic, it's all about funneling him to areas of the floor that you want him to go to. Obviously, it's very hard to do that to a player of Jokic's caliber, but if you can funnel him to that 12-foot area, dribbling to his left and having AD on the weak side to contest, all you have to do is, one, have AD jump, and then you have to have a LeBron or a Reeves or someone else come and grab the rebound.
On the help, yeah.
So if you can do that successfully, I think the Lakers have a great chance in this series. But obviously, I expect Denver to do something different. I think I was watching JJ Redick this morning, and he was saying how they had Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot, even though he's not like he's not a bad 3-point shooter, but he's not good at the same time. He's like average 35% on the year. I don't think you can keep him down low, because that, if the Lakers, I assume they will go to that and to start game 1, have AD not on Jokic. And I think if they are going to do that, then you have to not neutralize AD being in the paint, because you have to somehow do something to get Aaron Gordon out on the perimeter. Maybe run the ball screen instead of Jokic and Jamal Murray. You run it with Aaron Gordon and see how that plays. Obviously your offense takes a hit at that point, but having AD in the paint, I think, is way tougher to score inside than it is to not try and run something else. But
How many blocks did he have?
Who?
AD.
2. Him and Jokic each had 2.
Yeah. And then I saw blocks on Joker, and they were really impactful just because they got to push in transition. And I think that having, I think they got a group of solid guys, and the fact that Rui can play both sides of the ball very well, I think that is gonna give them an upper hand when Aaron Gordon isn't able to shoot as well from the 3-point. You know what I'm saying? To really provide that scoring. But the X factor coming from Denver is definitely none other than Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, man. Shout out to KCP. The boy was hooping last night.
Really good third quarter.
Just a hooper, just a flat out hooper. And I think that's what it may come down to, just because, like, we all know what playing basketball is like. And then this is why I had so much respect for the bubble. But everybody who does have respect for the bubble, I think that
me included.
Yeah, you included. It was just hoops. You know what I'm saying? It was nobody around, nobody whatever. So the fact that these same teams that we're seeing in both conference finals are back, when they were in the bubble, I think that is a testament to show how well these players play, but also the adjustments that will be made during the game and throughout both series, and then just letting it come down to the last quarter and the last few minutes for it to be this close of a game. I think every game may be this close if it comes down to just hoops, just because Jamal Murray is going to show up, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is going to show up, LeBron James is going to show up. I feel like D'Lo is going to show up. Austin Reeves is going to show up. We're going to see his career high in one of these games in this series with Denver. We're going to see his career high. I don't doubt it. But man, just flat out hoopers, man. If you just go out there and Darvin Ham is just going to be like, all right, Mike Malone is going to be like, all right, just give it to Jamal. Y'all get busy. Y'all do what y'all do and just handle business. I think that's what it's going to come down to in order for them to win this series. They're going to play it smart, of course, play great basketball. But when it comes down to it, I think it's going to come down to who.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are really good. Like, you could say the Lakers are the 7th seed, but everything since trade deadline, obviously, you could say they are real. Like, they've just played like a really good team, and I don't know what the record ended up being, but I would have to assume it would probably be a top 3-4 seed. I would say.
Yeah.
But obviously, Denver's been the 1 seed for probably 75% of the year for the West, and just like looking at their team, they just have impact guys everywhere. Like KCP in the third quarter, huge third quarter, eliminated so many runs the Lakers tried to make. Michael Porter Jr. had a lot of big, crazy shots. And I mean, just Denver as a whole, it was just one of those nights where you just make all the crazy shots. Like Jamal Murray making that 3 or 2 on LeBron was ridiculous. Jokic at the end of the third quarter, that was
Crazy.
unreal.
Crazy.
And then Michael Porter Jr. making the 1-3 that probably should have been an 1 when Reeves was contesting him. Like these shots are unheard of, like so hard, and they don't even hit the rim. It's just sometimes it's crazy how talented NBA players are, but that's just the way the game goes sometimes. And I mean, when you score 132 points, something's got to be going right for you. Both teams shot great from the floor. Both teams didn't really turn it over much. It was just a really good game. But the one thing that I wanted to nitpick was D'Angelo Russell last night, because he's very up and down, and we know that, and he's going to definitely give you a game where he gives you 24 points or something like that, which is going to be crucial. But I'm just looking at the box score. Everyone else is like -8, -6, -3, +10 for the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell's -25 in 26 minutes. That's really concerning. And so I think even just looking at the minutes, I think that's where they go for next game. I think they take out D'Lo and put in Rui because it gives I think it gives Schroeder the opportunity, because you can't put Reeves or Russell aren't the best out of those 3. They're the bottom 2 defenders. Bless you. And you need to have someone to guard Jamal Murray, because Jamal Murray would cook D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves. You need him to kind of run the show a little bit. So I don't think you should take out those 2, and I think it should be D'Angelo Russell. But the only thing is ego, all that kind of stuff. We can get into that. But
I think he wants to win more than he wants to win for his team.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately him may needing to take that back seat, and whatever the case may be, whatever the circumstance is, when Denver is applying that pressure, I think that is showing his acceptance of his role. And then I think that it'll also come down to him needing to accept his role, where LeBron is like, just in the same case of Lonnie Walker, he told Lonnie Walker, be ready, So when it comes down to D'Lo's going to get time sometime during the series to give you 25, 26, maybe even 30, 31, if it comes down to it, depending on that game. I think that will definitely be in LA, though.
Yeah, I think also down the stretch, you had a really successful little run, but there was a couple hiccups that I wanted to touch on for the Lakers that I think could have led them to winning this game. I think, obviously, LeBron missed 2 free throws earlier in the fourth quarter, but he sunk the 2 at, I don't know what time it was, probably 1:20 left or so, and they were down. They ended up being down 3, and they got the switch with LeBron on Jamal Murray, and Jamal played drop and wasn't playing up on him, and so he kind of confused, as crazy as this sounds, confused LeBron, like, oh, you're like, because LeBron could drive on Jamal Murray and score anytime he wants, but to being down 3, 40 seconds left or so, LeBron shot that pull-up 3, and I did not like that look. If it goes in, you love it. If you miss, you hate it. It's kind of one of those things. I'm always in the camp that I don't really care. I trust LeBron with whatever he does at any time. But personally, I would have liked him to drive it, make it a 1-point game. You slow the pace down. And then the following possession, Reeves threw a sketchy pass, and LeBron kind of bobbled it, did it through the legs. Jamal Murray tipped it to Yoke. They got the lob, and then that was pretty much a ball game. I don't know. What do you see? Did you see about that?
Both teams were in the bonus, and I think the challenge that they had towards the end of the game, where where Jamal Murray got that foul when AD pushed him in the back, and then they said that he was pulling on like Schroeder's jersey or something. I don't remember who it was, but I think that was a great call. You know, Mike Malone called the timeout, made the challenge. The challenge was successful, and I think that really changed the pace of the game because that kind of put the Lakers on their heels in regards to being able to go get it done. Like you said, like the rush shot from LeBron. I I think overall it really came down to Denver really just shooting the lights out and making those important shots that allowed them to stay 2, 3, 5 points ahead of the game, ahead of the Lakers, which ultimately, got them the dub. But it did come very close. And I think that wasn't due to, really anything that the Lakers could really do because of how well those guys can hoop. Like I was saying, I think that's really what it came down to.
Yeah, like I wasn't sitting on my couch watching this whole game. I was there. I was sitting on my couch for the first quarter and the fourth quarter, but I was driving home and I had the game on. I had the game on, but I was basically listening to the audio. And in the first and fourth quarter, or the first quarter, all I kept seeing was miss shot, rebound, and so that's why they were able to pull through. But second and third quarter, I like the Nuggets didn't miss anything. Like they just actually didn't miss. So there was no rebounds available.
Everybody.
Yeah, there was no rebounds available because I had my bet and I needed 80 to get 8 rebounds in one of my things. And I was worried because they just weren't missing anything. And I was worried that the game was going to get too far out of hand where he wouldn't come back in. So I was listening for rebounds. And they just weren't getting any rebounds. Then the fourth quarter comes around. Then they started finally finishing possessions. And I think that's what's going to be really important. I think Denver is definitely the way better rebounding team. But I think if the Lakers want to win this series and especially steal game 2 in Denver, they have to rebound better. AD cannot have 10 rebounds. He needs to be in the 15 plus, 14 plus every single game. And I think if you can minimize Jokic's rebounding and specifically offensive rebounds, then that creates a whole slew of problems because that's how he does get a lot of assists, rebound, kick out, 3. Then that's like the most demoralizing thing for a team.
100.
And I think that's what's going to be really important going forward.
Yeah. But the thing about Joker that makes him such a difficult player to guard and makes him a back-to-back MVP, makes him one of the greatest players on the planet is his touch around the rim. He's very graceful. A lot of people may say that he could be like Ofi or just has a different game, but like they don't understand the elegance that it comes down to have when playing at that height, when playing at that weight, when being the 5 on your team. And one of the first buckets that he had was pushing the ball down in transition, a little bounce pass to Jamal Murray, cutting down baseline, easy bucket. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to getting those offensive rebounds, the reason why it's so difficult to guard is just because he has the length, you know what I'm saying, to get up there. He doesn't have to have the most aggressive, or not aggressive, but he doesn't have to
athletic jump. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? To have to get up there and do whatever. So the fact that he can, as long as he gets his fingertips on the ball, it's kind of like a volley. And then we see him do those passes a lot. Like as soon as the ball reaches his hands, let's say Jamal Murray tries to throw it to him, he'll palm it for a second, but he's immediately, bouncing back that momentum to Aaron Gordon on the other side to the other wing. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to being under the rim and having AD, he already has AD at a disposition just because AD doesn't really have his feet set. So he's able to reach tall, and then all he needs is his fingertips to really get the ball in the basket, which makes him as lethal as he is. And that's so difficult to guard. So that means you have to get Joker out of the paint on every possession. So that means that you have to stop him in the pick and roll. You have to watch those dribble handoffs just because he's gonna be sliding to the basket. And as soon as he's within that area, he knows, kind of like Dennis Rodman, how the ball is gonna bounce off to position his body to put AD or Rui did a great job pushing him
Funneling
out
him, yeah.
pushing him out of that position to where he can even be within the frame of the backboard. You know what I'm saying? Which I think that is how you have to play Joker. You can't have him anywhere on the block. You can't have him anywhere baseline. You can't have him anywhere in the paint, near the free throw line, just because he's going to be able to knock down those easy jumpers or just those easy little putbacks that he doesn't wait to come back to the ground down on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he's like, "Why is Jokic so good?" And I'm like, "It's the European pace and intelligence from playing so young." Because, like, think about Luka. He doesn't play super fast. He doesn't jump out of the gym. It's all mental, and he plays at his own speed, and it's impossible to speed the really, really good ones up. And I think that's why you see there's a lot of really, really good European players, and there's a lot of really, really bad ones. Because if you can get sped up, then you're screwed. Because they like to play at a slower pace. But, I mean, overall, I didn't expect the Lakers to win game one. I felt better about them stealing this game than the second one. But I'm encouraged. I'm curious to see what Mike Malone does in game two. Great game to start. Masterclass from Jokic. And you want to make predictions for the Heat Celtics game tonight?
You my brother, and you're great at what you do. Gotta give you your flowers. You are amazing at what you do. You are that guy. Shout out to my dog, my brother.
I thought there was a butt coming at the end of this.
Nah, no. Because like, I see how hard you work, and just taking notice to what you were doing last night leading up to how you get ready to set everything up. I know that everything is like an intricate piece, like it's a Lego build, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to take the time to appreciate
Appreciate it.
Hey, golly, man, you do the damn thing. But yeah, we could get into Miami versus Boston.
Yeah. We just got a prediction. Obviously, we'll talk about it after the game tonight if I'm not out, which I don't think I will be. But
are they at the Garden or are they in Miami?
Garden. The Celtics are 8-point favorites. Who do you got? Just a quick prediction, then we'll talk more about it
Boston
tomorrow. Yeah, I think I got Boston in game one. If you guys at home, if you actually made it this far, respect to you. Just throw it a like. We need all the pushing. We need the algo to really go. But if you want to ride my bet tonight, if you ever heard of Calling Our Shot, he does a ladder challenge. I've just been doing these for fun for myself, making a little bit of money. I have Jaylen Brown 20+, Bam 6+ rebounds, Jimmy Butler and Tatum over 21.5. It's even money.
That's a lock.
So if you want to ride it, and like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys tomorrow with a Celtics Heat reaction, and peace.